The year 2026 is a very emotional year for Jungkook. Not because of a single major event, but because of a series of small moments that slowly coalesced and formed a new portrait of him. A young man who had gone through a phase of military discipline, quietly embraced his music again, and began to live everyday life in a calmer, more honest, and more mature way. For many, Jungkook has always been synonymous with a grand stage, spotlight, and boundless energy. But 2026 actually shows another side that is quieter, more human, and that is precisely what makes the public feel closer to it. Post-enlistment, the changes were most pronounced not only in his stronger-looking physique, but also in his aura. Jungkook looks calmer, his gestures more measured, and his way of speaking, both through brief messages to fans and snippets of interactions circulating, exudes a maturity that isn't made up. He did not explain much about what he experienced during the assignment, as if the experience was a personal space he wanted to keep. But from his choice of words, from the pause he took before sharing anything, it was clear that the conscript had taught him one important thing: about time, about patience, and about appreciating the little things that once might have been missed. Jungkook's return to the music scene did not happen with a bang. No big, noisy announcements. Quite the contrary. Everything feels slowly and organically. Music comes back like an old friend, quietly knocking on the door, then sitting together in the corner of the room. He began to be seen spending time in the studio, not to catch up with trends, but to listen to himself. Some people close to him say that Jungkook is now more selective, more reflective. He was in no hurry to release anything. He wants to make sure that every note that comes out is completely honest, not just meeting expectations. Interestingly, Jungkook's musical direction in 2026 feels more personal. It still has the same vocal power, but the emotion behind it feels deeper. There is an impression that he sings not to prove anything, but to convey the feelings that have been stored for so long. Many fans have speculated that his military experience, distance from the stage, and time to himself have opened up new layers in the way Jungkook writes and interprets songs. His music is now not only about love or euphoria, but also about longing, doubt, and the process of finding oneself. Outside of music, Jungkook's everyday life in 2026 is the topic that secretly attracts the most attention. He seems to enjoy a simple routine: exercising, taking a leisurely walk, spending time with things that don't always have to be shared. There are days when she appears in casual clothes, without excessive makeup, without the effort of looking perfect. And that's exactly where the charm gets stronger. It's like Jungkook is learning to live as an ordinary human version of Jungkook, not just an idol who always has to be ready to perform. His interactions with fans also underwent subtle changes. If in the past the energy was explosive, now it is warmer and calmer. The messages he delivers often feel like honest conversations, rather than just formal greetings. He didn't promise much, but every word that came out was sincere. Jungkook seems to want to say that he is still there, still walking with the army, only with a slower and more conscious step. Jungkook's name also continues to be talked about in the context of BTS's future. The year 2026 made many reflect on how the dynamics of the group will evolve after each member goes through their individual personal journey. In this context, Jungkook appears as a mature figure, not just as the magne, but as an individual ready to stand on equal footing, bringing new colors and depths. He is no longer just the youngest, but one of the emotional pillars that understand the meaning of being together after feeling the distance. There's one thing Jungkook feels most strongly about in 2026: his honesty with himself. He no longer seems to be trying so hard to fill anyone's shadow of him. If he wants to be silent, he is silent. If he wants to work, he works in his own way. These small decisions form a big narrative about a person finally coming to terms with the process of his life. And perhaps this is the most beautiful phase of Jungkook, not because of the brightest highlights, but because of the most real calm. For the public and fans, 2026 is not just another year of updates. It is a year of understanding that Jungkook is not only a global icon, but also a human being who grows, changes, and learns. From military service to discipline, to music to honesty, to simple but meaningful everyday life, Jungkook shows that a true journey doesn't always have to look spectacular. Sometimes, It is precisely in silence and slow steps that a person finds the best version of himself. Jungkook's journey in 2026 also shows how he is redefining the meaning of popularity. After a long time living in the midst of extreme spotlight, the draft seemed to be a long pause that forced him out of the rhythm of the entertainment world. When he returned, it became clear that he no longer viewed fame as an end, but rather a consequence. He seems to be more careful in choosing when to appear and when to disappear for a moment. Not because he wants to stay away, but because he now understands that taking care of yourself is as important as maintaining a relationship with fans. Many have noticed small changes in his way of expressing emotions. Jungkook in 2026 no longer hides fatigue behind a perfect smile. If he feels tired, he admits it honestly. If he feels grateful, he conveys it without dramatization. This honesty actually makes each appearance feel more valuable. Not often, but always meaningful. Every word he wrote or spoke felt like a piece of his heart, not the result of an image strategy. Music remains the main axis of his life, but now his position is more intimate. Jungkook seems to enjoy the creative process without the pressure of deadlines. He is no longer obsessed with numbers or instant achievements. What he pursues is a sense of satisfaction after a song is over, a sense that he has said something true about himself. There are indications that he is interested in exploring a more minimalist genre, where his vocals stand bare without many layers, letting emotions speak for what they are. This approach reflects his personality that is looking for balance, not explosions in everyday life. Jungkook also seems to be more connected to simple things that he used to rarely enjoy. Quiet mornings, physical exercise as a form of self-care, and alone time that does not need to be shared with the public. All of them form a relaxing routine. It is as if he discovers that life does not always have to be pursued. Sometimes it is enough to be lived. This awareness feels strong in every little update she shares, not showing off, but sharing moments she finds meaningful. His relationship with BTS members is also a topic that is often discussed. 2026 shows Jungkook as a more reflective figure in togetherness. He doesn't talk much, but when he speaks, his words are deep. He listened more, appreciated each member's process, and seemed to understand that everyone brings a different story after going through a tough phase of life. In his silence, Jungkook looks more and more mature, more and more sensitive to the dynamics around him. There is also the impression that Jungkook began to look to the future with a broader perspective. It no longer depends on a single definition of success. For him, surviving, growing, and staying honest is probably much more important than just being on top. This mindset is reflected in the way he talks about time, about not wanting to rush things, about enjoying the process, about letting things grow naturally. In a fast-paced industry, this attitude feels almost revolutionary. Fans responded to this change with mixed emotions, emotion, pride, and a sense of wanting to protect. Many feel that Jungkook is now not just an idol, but a mirror of a human journey that is learning to accept himself. She's not perfect, and she's not trying to look perfect. It's precisely those imperfections that make it feel real. Every pause, every breath he takes from the hustle and bustle of the entertainment world feels like a reminder that he, too, is a human being who deserves to rest. The year 2026 may not be filled with big news explosions about Jungkook, but that's precisely his strength. This was a quiet but important transitional year. A year in which he reordered priorities, smoothed old wounds, and planted seeds for a more honest future. From discipline-building military service, music as a space for self-recognition, to simple but meaningful everyday life, Jungkook is writing a new chapter, without haste, without coercion, and maybe, when he comes back on stage with a new piece, people will feel the difference. Not just in the sound, but in the soul that goes with it. Jungkook 2026 isn't about noise, it's about depth. It's not about proof, it's about acceptance. A journey that is not always visible, but very palpable for anyone who really pays attention.